everybody. I'm glad to be with you. Here we are in hopefully the end stages of this crazy COVID season. We artists are having to learn to adapt a lot and to be functional in this new world that we live in. And I hope that what we're doing on these social media sites are going to be part of that for you. My name is Dick. And my friend Aubrey and I are creating this social media site for artists of all kinds, all ages. By artists, we mean musicians, dancers, painters, sculptors, people who are working in all kinds of the creative arts. And what we're calling the site is Artist Set Free, because that's what it really is about. We want to have discussions with you and with your friends about the real practical questions of how do we function as artists in this new world today. Over the years, I've had just thousands, and I assume thousands of people here in my house talking about just those questions. And how do we use our arts gifts to talk about truth and social justice and beauty, things that are really meaningful to us as people, and at the same time be able to earn a living. For many of us have families. How do we put all that together? So just so you know a little bit about me, I worked for 30 years in the music theater industry. I conducted orchestras professionally, a lot for musical comedy and opera. I was fortunate enough to be able to conduct a lot of ballet, did a lot of festival work as well. And during that time, I worked often as an artistic director and a producer, as well as a conductor. So during that time, my wife and I, she was a professional dancer, professional ballet dancer, pretty substantial career here in the United States and in Europe. She and I had all sorts of friends that we really cared about, but honestly, who often could not cope with this strange world we live in, this arts world. And so that's really the genesis of what this is all about. We had friends who would just crash and burn. They couldn't handle the constant perfectionism and the constant comparison and competitive nature of our business. But it doesn't have to be like that. That's why we're saying artists, we can be set free. We can do what we're supposed to do, and at the same time have meaningful lives. The practical side of what we're doing is where Aubrey and I started. We asked lots of people, what are the real burning questions in your lives right now? We want to start discussions that we hope you will be part of. The first question, for instance, is, can my art really make a difference? In all these years that I've put in learning to dance well, or play my instrument well, or make film really well, can all of this make a difference in the world? Will the world be better because of what I'm doing? Another question that is constantly coming up is, how do I handle all the insecurity and even fear that surrounds us in the world today, not just from the COVID stuff, but from the economy, from the way the world treats a lot of us artists? Is there an alternative to that constant insecurity and fear? And yes, honestly, I believe there is. I hope you'll join us in the discussions of this. Another big question is, how do I respond to failure? I don't know about you, but I am far from perfect, and I have often bumped into walls that the world would call failure. How do we handle that? Last, and probably the biggest question that people are constantly talking about is, what is my artistic calling? What do I do with the gifts I've been given, and how do I mix it in with the need to earn a living, the need to save for college funds, and all the other things that go on in our lives? And just so you know, everyone is welcome. Over these years of having people in my home and many discussions I've had in coffee shops and backstage in dressing rooms, and People from all sorts of backgrounds have participated in the discussion of these big questions, and we'll come up with more questions regularly as well. Uh, I'm someone who is trying to follow Jesus. I'm not always good at it, but that doesn't exclude anybody. Of course, I'll go into these discussions with that kind of perspective, but we welcome people into these talks from every possible background, every faith background, every cultural background, and for no people who have no faith background as well. You are entirely welcome. So please join us as we jump into these discussions. And we want to hear from you. We hope that you'll respond and be active participants in what we're talking about. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you.